Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 12, The Lucky Ones just came out on AMC Plus this morning, March 6th. So, spoiler warning if you guys haven't seen that yet. And just a reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing for Walking Dead content. We've been covering it every week now. So, yeah, smash that subscribe button, like the video. And yeah, let's jump into it. So, this episode was really cool, like nothing too crazy actiony, but like really is shifting the story to give us an idea. Just a little tease of what we like, how it might get to the Daryl like confronting the hilltop thing, day 90 or whatever it was. I forgot what day it was, but you get what I'm getting at. So like the episode starts out like one of the big things we have going on is Max is giving her perspective, which come to find out that Stephanie isn't her real name. That was her mom's name and the name she used on the radio, but she happened to find some parts in the trash she constructed. And we get like this montage of her talking to Eugene on the radio, but from her perspective. And it's just really cool. And what we come to find out is Mercer was, excuse me, looking into an unauthorized radio call out to other rogue communities, and he come to find out that it was her, and he's like, you better hope Hornsby doesn't find out. And presumably that's where we're made to believe that Hornsby made up the whole Stephanie thing, and makes me wonder if like Mercer's in on Hornsby, because Mercer was part of the group that was taken out to meet them and part of the interrogation process with Lance. So I'm kind of curious about that. Don't know that for sure. Maybe he's not with Lance like that. He just happened to be on the mission, but I am a little curious. But yeah, we get more of her perspective, like when they're buying the ice cream cones and like how she wanted to say something, but she couldn't because she would recognize, or he would recognize her voice. So she just kind of shucked him off. But also like we kind of find out like she's asking Pamela if she needs anything, and she's like, I need my son to not be an asshole, which is a little change from the comics that I kind of like, because in the comics she like her son got whatever he wanted, she was cool with that. Like this Pamela actually I like more than the comic Pamela. It's like actually really cool. So then like in that scene though, like Max is walking out to go get her ice cream, and Lance walks in buzzing about the communities, and Eugene's like, what does it mean? She's like, he's ambitious. It could mean a lot of things. It could mean nothing. I don't know. And like Eugene storms off. And like later he has a conversation down by the lake with Rosita, like asking her if she regrets coming here. And it seems like she's kind of putting on the poker face that she likes to be there, but we remember how she told Daryl like she wasn't digging it or whatever. And she brings up how like once Alexandria is built back up, they'll have options, and options are good for people. And then she finally gets like Eugene the crack with what's wrong, and instead of telling her all about Lance and all that, she just says, yeah, Stephanie ended up not being who I thought she was. She broke up with me, and Rosita assures him that he's gonna find the one. And I think that's kind of like what sparks, like in his mind, he goes to Max's apartment to apologize for being rude and storming off. And she kind of like, how could you not realize that Stephanie wasn't me and stuff? He's like, I was just so much going on, and I wanted it to be a thing so bad. She's like, I had little question marks along the way, but you know, I was just so caught up in the moment, basically, is what I was gathering. Like, I thought it was real, and like, I didn't know, like, it was my bad. And she ends up like, making it seem like she's not going to forgive him or doesn't know if she can, but then she wants to know about the monologue, the novel that he's writing. And so he's like, well, I burned the only physical copy, but I got most of it memorized. And they start just like labeling off like what it's about, and she's like, oh, you better do this. He's like, that's exactly what I did. And it seems like there's a good chance that their relationship might happen after all. And it is a decent amount different than the comics, because like I said in previous videos, Stephanie is just Stephanie, exactly who she was in the comics. She was the one on the radio. She's the one that brought Lance and the Commonwealth soldiers to meet him. It was similar, but not exactly how it went down with the processing and all that. So like, after, like, it was Michonne, Yumiko, Magna, and Eugene went to go meet them, and then like after like Michonne seeing her daughter, which is kind of like the equivalent to Yumiko and Tomi finding each other, like Michonne sent back for Rick to come into the Commonwealth, and that's where kind of things it went differently. It wasn't like this whole Lance thing is so different. So let's Ezekiel has got officially bumped up in line. Like, Carol did her favors for him, and she got Ezekiel bumped up for Lance. Got Ezekiel bumped up, and he's like having this moral battle because, like, even though he wants to live, he wants it. He's kind of like come at peace that he might not, or probably won't, and he thinks it's not fair because he's like a really moral guy. And like Carol's like, hey, Pamela would bump her son up there. you know, People have done less and gotten more, gotten luckier, and you are not one of those lesser men. You are worth something. And like in that after inside thing, Angela Kang brought up how, like, she's thinking like, what, things aren't right now, and you have a chance if you're still around to help fix that. Like so, and I'm really happy that Ezekiel looks like he should be living because, like, in the comics, him and Rosita had their heads on the pikes with the Whisper arc. So, like, they're long past, like, where they died in the comics. So, I'm really excited. Like, I want them to be around. Like, I know it's the final season and people probably should be dying a little more often, but you got to remember since Carl dying, or even Abraham and Glenn, since them dying, we've had a lot of pretty major deaths. So, I just still want to spend more time with these characters, get some more of them before, like, I mean, the series is ending, so I guess it does kind of have to happen. But long story short, he's getting his surgery, it looks like. So in the next few episodes, he should be getting around, recovering just fine, is the way it looks. Um, the meat and potatoes of the episode was Pamela, Lance, and a group from the Commonwealth going to meet with Alexandria, Oceanside, and Hilltop, and basically they want to bring those communities in. And at first Pamela's like, I'm not sure that we need it. Well, she goes to check out Alexandria. She thinks it's kind of cool, and it's really cool to see Aaron meet Pamela because it's so much like looks a lot like when Rick and Pamela met in the comics. So it's really just cool in that aspect. We come to find out Pamela knew Deanna, and I think his name was Reg, and like how Deanna was actually more so in politics before she was, and she was very ambitious, and it doesn't surprise her that she started a community like this. And like she asked Daryl like what was she like, and he's like she brought us in, she laid the foundation, all that, like helped this place be what it was, and we've been out here and fought for it every day and always brought it back. It's been a special place. And she's like more than once, and a walker breaches in. But it's like really cool that she actually knows Deanna. So I think that like gives a nod this place, and she does see like because Aaron lays out how like they were self-sustaining with like they had farming, they had this, they had that, and and one of it was like the irrigation things. I believe it was from for crops from Maggie, and he brings that up, and so I think she's already thinking a little highly of Maggie. And they go to Oceanside, and she's just chilling, has her like feet in the water and just chilling. And she talks with Rachel, and Rachel's really nice, and they're talking and thankful. But she's like, "Hey, we have a pact with Maggie, and Maggie's not down. So if you get her down, we'll do it. But out of respect to Maggie, we won't be." And she's then like Pamela brings up how Alexandra's gonna do it. She's like, "Well, I understand that, but Alexandra's also done their one way, and Maggie's never like turned her back on us, so we're not gonna do that to her." So then the episode really focuses on them trying to convince Maggie and to join in. Like we have this scene like right after like they meet up and there's walkers out there. So the soldiers are gonna go clear the rest of the walkers, and they split off in a couple pairs to go hunting. It's mainly so Maggie and Pamela can fill each other out, talk, and we get some interesting dialogue. Obviously, the differences, and Maggie brings up how like, well, you sleep in a nicer house, have this nicer car that brings you around, blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, but my responsibility is a lot more than the common average worker. She brings up how like everything comes, like Pamela brings up how everything comes at a price, and like how her price is losing sleep at night, but that's like the price she pays. And like the price you pay for living at the hilltop right now is it's dangerous and not that much going on things. And that ends up being like a big factor when Maggie ends up not taking the deal later on. But like it's definitely enticing to Maggie because there's the point where like the bunch of the walkers are coming, and she sees like how easy the Commonwealth soldiers were able to take them down for that. And even Diane and Lydia say it would be nice if this was to happen all the time. We need something like this, and it almost seems like Maggie's kind of getting down. This is after like, well, I'll talk about this in a minute. Lance had this big crazy spiel to her, but Lance definitely has his own motives in this. Um, but coming back, like she sees how like Daryl is like falling in line, and like that military. She's seen how easy it took the walkers, there's a chance like if they like agree to this pact and there's something that they don't like and they don't want to do that, they just come up and show up and do that to them at their walls. Like that's something in the back of her head that she's thinking of. Everything comes at a price. And that's the reason she gives Pamela when she wants to pass on the offer. And Lance thought he had it like sewn in the bag because like they gave them all kinds of food, were really nice. And actually the negotiations were going well. And even like Lance and Maggie had to sit down and like Lance painted out the vision, like, how nice would it be for Herschel to be able to come to the Commonwealth to a concert, get sent up to another community maybe that has a port by boat and go to college and this and that. This is the future that we can do together. Like you're one of the leaders and like, you know, like painting this picture and really making it personal to her by bringing in Herschel. And like I don't know, I might try to dig more deep into it, but like he was talking about university and stuff, and it just made me think about the university at the Civil Republic. So like, if you've seen Walking Dead World Beyond, you know what that's about. So I'm just kind of curious if that was like a little like underlying connection, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, because Pamela's obviously like a little that they're not gonna join, but she kind of like licking her wounds and down, and Lance wants to keep trying to get them to, and like Pamela brings up how like Lance is looking for more power and like this and that, and it kind of teases like a potential conflict between Pamela and Lance if Lance were to able to get some communities, because he was saying how we could be the most powerful communities, and it's like in this weird way. And we obviously know from the last episode that he's working with some other like his own means, because like all the stuff, the shady stuff that Eugene started uncovering, we don't exactly know what's going on there. And yeah, Lance definitely has his own motives. Like afterwards, like she's like, you can keep trying to get these guys to be down, but it better not like be at the sacrifice of your work back at the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth always comes first. And he goes out and he starts shooting the gun, like attracting walkers, and he starts killing them. And Aaron's like, "Yo, is Alexandria good?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're good. We only just begun, basically." And it's just like he has this weird psychotic look on his face. So you are obviously like they're setting him up to be the villain in some way, and I just don't know like what it's gonna mean. Like, how does this all get back to Daryl opposing Maggie at the Hilltop door? Like, like they're definitely setting it up, but there's gonna be some crazy stuff goes on. Like, maybe does Lance have control of the Hilltop at that point, and Daryl's there with the Commonwealth to take it down, or is there something different? Like, I mean, there's a bunch of possibilities it could be. That's definitely not the only one. That's probably not even the right one. Just something that popped in my head. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about down in the episode. My thoughts are it's like a good episode. It sets up a really crazy like last couple episodes of the part of the season, and yeah, I'm really excited. I don't know, I really enjoyed it. Curious to see what you guys thought down in the comments. Leave any questions that you guys might have, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next video. I should be doing a trailer breakdown either out later today or probably on Monday. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.